All right. Welcome back, my regular viewers, listeners, and watchers. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier iHypnosis life healer coach and your personal guide. So I've got a very controversial and, of course, a very heartfelt question that I want to ask you, especially as a healer, especially as a coach. Do you feel left behind? The reason why I'm asking this is, this idea, this realization came to me probably about maybe about 8 months ago, and I've been just letting the idea grow while obviously in our community we've been doing the work, we've been showing up, we've been working together. But especially to you out there as a healer, as a coach, my question genuinely is like, do you feel left behind? Because I know in my own story, I've had that experience with time, and I felt that frustration of what it is when you try things out, when you test things out, and they don't work. And it's very easy to give up. It's very easy to come to that conclusion that, okay, maybe this is not for me. But as someone who has been on this journey now for more than 20 years, I know that deep down, this is the work that I've been called to do. This is the work that I'm meant to do. And if that means also holding that space for you so that you can find what truly drives you, and what is your life's purpose. And in that journey where you're not trying to rush to find the answer, but you're really willing to slow down, you're really willing to allow yourself to really discover what it is that you're meant to do here and who it is that you're meant to help along the way. Then this is that space that I've been called to create. And we're at today at that point where there are more and more of us that are meeting together and that are working together as healers and coaches who realize that you may have already done a lot of the work, what seemed like hard work, but what seemed like logical work, where maybe you've been through the various training programs, you've gained a lot of skill, or at least the sense that you can now develop skill. So you have maybe the building blocks of that skill, but somehow you're at that point where it just feels like maybe this is not for me. And every time when you've tried and quote unquote failed, and you've kind of interpreted that as maybe this is not for me, or maybe I'm not meant to have this kind of a experience as being a healer and a coach. So to me, that question that keeps ringing is, do you feel left behind? And when I started this journey, of course, close to 20 years ago, there have been many times where I've had that feeling, but somehow the deeper meaning was that I'm meant to do this, I'm meant to help more people. And with time, that my people, like, who are my people, that question has only gotten clearer. And I know it is people like us who are healers and coaches. It's providing that space, that community, so that you're able to come in, you're able to realize that maybe rest before you go on your next big adventure is probably the solution, or is probably what you're meant to do. And all of your previous uh, let's say adventures that you went on, all of what you've done before was leading up to this moment of rest before you go on that next adventure. So for me, I realized that this is that time to share with you and to remind you that it's okay to rest. It's okay to be kind to yourself, guilt free. And when you start there, then you will realize that you already have all the gifts that you've gathered and that you now get to share it with the world. So for me, this is something that as a theme that I feel I'm going to be exploring more. Of course, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out in the coming days. And I've always said this as a coach and a healer: if you're someone who is already on the journey, you've done a lot of the steps that you were supposed to do, but you still feel like you're falling behind or you're left behind, then remember there's a community that is here to support you, to nurture you, while you truly step into your strength, step into your spirit once again. So, as always, I truly appreciate you. And if there's any way me or members of our community can support you, then just please show up. Of course, if you're already part of our community, come and be more active because we meet literally through the entire week. So, look forward to seeing you in any, many, or all of our different programs that we have. Mondays and Fridays, of course, is the iHypnosis live experiences. That's between 6 and 7. And then we got many, many different programs, including the communion, which we just wrapped up, which happens every Wednesday. So look forward to seeing you there. And if there's any way in which I can truly be of service to you, please do let me know. Of course, having said all of that, remember to live your purpose. God bless. And of course, I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye. And yes, thank you, Sangeeta, for tuning in. Self healing is on, as you say. And Devasmita, this is the most natural question indeed. Right? So take care. God bless. And I'll see you in the next one.